Welcome to Brooklyn's race circuit and welcome to your brand new Tesla. Today we're going to talk through Model 3 and Model Y. But first, why are we at Brooklands? Well, Brooklands was the first purpose-built race circuit in the world and sort of where the automotive world started in the UK. We believe it's fitting because the automotive world in the UK is changing today thanks to you. The Model Y behind me is probably what you have on your driveway, but you may have a Model 3. The lovely thing is that they share the vast majority of parts with one another. So everything you can learn about the Model Y today, you can absolutely apply to your Model 3 when you get home. Tesla really care about safety and the holistic idea of that car being able to do anything that you need it to do. First things first, how do I get in? Well, when you get your car, you'll get an RFID card, which will look a little bit like this. Over the next couple of weeks, you can sign into the Tesla app. We need to do some clever stuff in the background to make that work for you. And then you can use that for your key as well. What I would recommend though is always keep the RFID card with you. I've been involved with electric vehicles for nearly a decade and I've been in some pickles. One of which was being on a beach in Cornwall while it was raining sideways and I couldn't open the car because I didn't have the RFID card with me. So even once you've got that key on your phone, make sure you've got your RFID card with you in your wallet. So to open the car door, you're going to place the RFID card just below the camera. It's about 3 fingers below the camera. It's also on the back of your card. You're then going to push your thumb against the big bit at the back, slide your hand in and pull the door open. That's to make sure you're all good. Once you've got your phone set up, you'll just walk up to the car and it'll open by itself. On the inside of the door here, you've got a button for opening it back out again. Make sure you press that, not the handle that's down on the side. On the dash, you've got all the buttons for opening the boot, opening the front, and utilising all the space within the car. To lock the door again, once the door is shut, just place that RFID card against the right position again. Windows will close up and you'll be all good. You might have a low garage roof, but Tesla have thought of this. You can set the rear of your car to not open beyond a certain point. How you do that is press the button to open the boot as normal, let the boot come all the way up, and once you're up there, you'll see there's this button for shutting it again. Press it once, press it again when it's at this desired height, so maybe it's here. We're going to press and hold that button now. And as we press and hold it, the car's going to beep. What that now means is that that boot is set to only open to that height. So once it's shut, we can try that. We'll press that button, it should only open to where we set it. To reset that, so to clear that, let's say you move to a bigger garage or you decide you're going to leave it outside for a few days, push the boot the whole way open, you're going to press and hold that button again. That's going to clear with a small beep, and then when you press that, that'll be it cleared. So the next time we open the boot, it'll go all the way up for us. I mentioned in the intro that Tesla is super concerned about safety. One of the things in the back of your Model 3 and your Model Y is that you'll find ISOFIX points. In the back of the Model Y, they're on the back of the seats. These are the anchor points that you can hook your child seat into. On the Model 3, they sit internally on the parcel shelf inside. Once you've got those in, you're all well and good, you can snap them in. The other thing you can do is obviously drop your seats. They're just a little button up here on the side to do your one there and your other 2 there. Bring them back up. You simply just push them back up and into place. They may need a little bit of a button on the side to push forward. Whether you're Model 3, walk round, you should find a button on the back of the seat, pull it down, you're all good to go. So what you'll find in the boot of your Tesla Model 3 and Model Y is some nifty cubby holes. Down the sides, you'll find where you can pop your cables and some other bits and bobs. In the back here, you have a false floor, which gives you access to the whole rear. We like to keep Constantine in there. This is because the nature of an electric car, all the batteries are down the middle of it, or underneath the floor, you can get all this space back. You then have another little compartment as well, which is where Tesla will like to keep things like the emergency kit that you'll find in this red bag. Also, our driver pack should be there as well, along with your Electroverse card, which will probably be in a white envelope. It's either in here or in the glove compartment. You're probably going to want to know how to charge your car. So you use a Type 2 cable that looks like this. It'll probably come with your car. You pull the top off, and then at the back panel here, on the back left-hand side of the car, you press in this bottom little corner here, it'll lift right the way up. That then clicks right in the top. Type 2 is used for all kinds of charging that isn't on the motorway and for road trips. This is the kind of charger that if you're at the cinema or at home overnight will give you some energy into the car. To rapid charge, it's just the 2 pins at the bottom attached to another socket. Now that socket locks in place so that somebody can't just walk along and pull your cable out the car. With your Tesla, once you're finished charging, to unlock it, you need to go into the car itself, and on the dashboard there'll be a little button that says unlock charge port. When you press on that, it will change the color of the Tesla logo underneath the flap. The cable will pull right out, push down ever so gently, and it will shut back up for you. At the front of both your Model 3 and your Model Y, you have what is known as a frunk, a front trunk. Don't know if in the UK fruit works quite as well. To open that up, you can either do it from the screen like you did with your charging port, or we can do it from the app. We'll tap on open, it will pop open here, and underneath you've got a little bit more storage space in there. Underneath here is where you'll find your washer fluid up on the top here. This will allow you to fill your washer fluid when you need to. It's probably the only thing you need to add to your car other than electricity. This top section is where Tesla will do some servicing, so leave that alone. In here we've got a Constantine, but as well, you've got your towing eye if anything untoward happens. I like this section because it's waterproof. In here I can pop things like muddy boots, muddy shoes when I've been out on a walk, or if I've been out on a cycle, I can chuck my sweaty cycling gear in here rather than it stinking up the car. One thing to remember when shutting your frunk is to keep both hands on either side of your Tesla logo and just press with your body weight. So, welcome to your brand new Model Y. As we said before, this car is almost identical to the Model 3. So everything we talk about today is also applicable to your Model 3. The only real difference between the Model 3 and the Model Y is how tall it is, and also that boot that opens at the rear. So everything else we talked through, we can absolutely learn on both cars. First things first, we're going to set up our driving position. So if we pop our right foot on the brake, we can then use the buttons on the right-hand side of the seat to move the seat backwards, forwards, up and down. One of the really nice things about that with the Tesla is that we can then save that position. So what we're going to do is we'll go in and set Ali up, our willing test pilot here. So we're going to tap in Ali and create a profile for him. What that then is going to do is pull up how to do your mirrors and your steering wheel. So we're going to tap on mirrors first, and then all I'm going to ask Ali to do is use this scroller button to set the left mirror. And then lots of people then think that you need to use the other ball and scroller wheel to do the right mirror. You don't. You tap on right and then you scroll with this one here and you move it. What then happens is we hit save, that will close down, and then we're going to go into Ali again, and then we're going to do his steering wheel as well. So that's going to be up and down on the dash here, out for more of an aggressive driving position, and in for less of a aggressive driving position there. We're going to hit save, and then that's it, all saved for you. That'll also remember things like how hot you like the car, particularly which radio stations you like, and other things and other settings in your Autopilot and other settings. It can be saved against your phone and against maybe a key card, but what also happens is when you jump in the car, tap on somebody's name, the whole thing will then move to where they last were. And then if we hit on Ali again, it'll go all the way back to exactly where we last saved it. This means that you don't have to keep going down to the right-hand side and using those buttons all the time to move the seat and work out where you want to be. The other thing in this system, so we're going to close that down just now so you're all good. For the first time you drive the car, you're going to want to use the card key. So what we're going to do is again put your foot on the brake, and then you're going to put your key just next to your coffee cup holders. What that's going to do is turn the car on, you'll see it light up, you can tell that's up here. Pop your foot on the brake and then pull down all the way into D and it will crack for us. That's it, fantastic. Then if we want to go into reverse, we push all the way up, and that'll also bring up your cameras and make a slight weird noise, and then press the silver button in on the end to pop us into park. When the car remembers you're all good, you can jump out and you're ready to go. One of the things about jumping out of this car is to use the button on the door rather than using the handle at the bottom. So Ali, if you have a look on the door card, you'll see there's a button right there. Just press that to open the door and then you're good. There are very few buttons in this car. Almost everything is done on the screen. And that's on purpose. Tesla realised that they can update this car in the future and add new features without having to add a new button. One thing that is law to be a button though is your hazards, which are up here. You press it and obviously your hazards come on. However, just remember that it's up above your head if ever you need to press your hazard button. Cool, so you're ready to drive your car. There are a couple of settings you probably want to have a look at. So to change settings rather than change your heat or watch Netflix or play games or anything those things that you can do, there are a couple of things that you really want to have a wee look at and get set up. First thing, for your temperature, you just tap on it, it will pull up. You drag where you want the air to go, and then also you can change the heat here and we can leave it in auto as well. Some of these settings here, so dog mode and camp mode, are amazing for if you're going on a long journey and you want to stop off overnight, you can keep the air conditioning running at a certain temperature. I'm going to pop it into auto and turn it off for the sound so that we can actually hear ourselves talk today. If we tap on the little Tesla logo, or the little picture of the Tesla car in the bottom right hand corner, that then brings up all the settings that we might need. Everything in here will take time to learn, and there's a whole load on Tesla's website where you can see it. But some things that we absolutely want to point you in the direction of is the glove box up here. To open the glove box, you tap on it, but to close it, it's a proper close as well. The other thing to remember is that this is actually a moving mirror and not one that's remembered on the system. Another thing that we maybe want to have a look at is the charging system. So day to day, we would always suggest charging to about 85%. If you're on Intelligent Octopus, you're going to leave the schedule. You're not going to have any scheduled charging whatsoever. So to schedule your charging, we're going to make sure that we're charging in off-peak conditions. So we're going to hit on, schedule, settings, and then onto off-peak charging. We're going to hit all week and change off-peak hours. So what we're going to do is say that our off-peak hours are from like 12, they end at 4:30, that's when Octopus Go ends, and then we're going to come back, and then we're going to be, so depart by, let's say 7, and we should be all good to go. So that's now scheduled and in the system and ready to rock and roll. So we should be good. What you'll find is we would recommend setting your charge limit to 80–85%. That's a good amount of charge every single day. And if you've got a Tesla, you should absolutely be looking to move to Intelligent Octopus. With Intelligent Octopus, when you plug your car in, the car and the charger and our systems all work together to find you the cheapest and greenest energy that evening and the next day to make sure that you've got enough charge for the next day. There's some other things in here that you might want to have a play with. You can change colors on the dashboard, you can change here, we can go light, you can do other things with it. But really we want to keep that for you guys to play with and work out what's going on there. One of the other things that is absolutely important to really understand with your Tesla is when we want to navigate somewhere. Now what I love about this is we pop in a destination and the car is going to work out exactly how to get there and make sure that you never run out of charge, all using the Supercharger system. So tap in the destination you want to go and it will work out how we're going to get there. I loved how it thought we were going to get there at 7:15, but we're not. We're going to get there at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning if we were to leave now. It then comes up on here, and then also your speed and everything turns up in here, along with how the car looks while it's driving along the road, showing you where other cars are. One of the big things that you may or may not have been excited with is, of course, Autopilot. While the car's in park, pop it into full self-drive or into auto steer beta, and then it's going to show you that the car can see what's going on. To put the car into autopilot while you're on the road, all you're going to do is pull down twice on the right-hand stop. So if I let you do that, just push it down twice, and again, it'll make like a boom boom, and then the car is in autopilot. We must tell you, you need to keep your hands on the steering wheel, but the pedals will work themselves. The car will steer itself as well. Can be a little bit disconcerting the first time you do that. All of your lights are in here as well. We think you should leave them in auto and absolutely be okay there. The same with your window wipers. So your window wipers are on the same stock as your indicators, which is this one just here. If you just press the silver button in on the end, What I'll do just nice and quickly, there we go. You'll see down the bottom here, you're going to get settings for your wipers as well, but you can see they're in auto, so we're all good to go. Once you've done that, I would absolutely implore you to sit down and have a play. In here, you can connect to your Spotify, your Apple Music, your Bluetooth and other things. You also have some arcade system or the theatre. So you can either connect to your Bluetooth or to your Wi-Fi of your phone, watch Netflix, YouTube and other things while you're charging, or you can play games while you're charging as well. One of the favourites is, of course, Beach Buggy Racing 2, where you use the steering wheel to drive the car while you're sat there charging up. The real thing about Tesla that we kind of need to really implore upon or have you think about is that using the car should be super simple and super easy. Once you've got these settings and had a play, you'll be all good. Finally, one of the things you can do is tap on search at the top corner, type in what you want to look for in the settings, and the car should find it for you. Remember, this is more of a piece of tech that's on the road than a car company that's building a piece of tech. And I think that's really important to remember when you come to play with Tesla. That should be you completely up to speed to hit the road with your new Tesla. We absolutely want you to ask us questions and use your car as much as possible. So get in touch, let us know, and we look forward to seeing you on the road.